Something you're not going to get, well, you haven't gotten out of me in a while, but you asked for it. I guess I'll do a Royal Rumble overview, review, whatever you want to call it, because I have mixed feelings about this show. Let's get into the first match. The Steel Cage match. Daniel Bryan defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Big Show and Mark Henry. Triple threat Steel Cage. This was okay. Except that you basically threw a Steel Cage in there for the sake of keeping Bryan looking like an inferior being to Big Show, which is the last thing they really need right now. Because you want Daniel Bryan to look credible going into WrestleMania. If he's going to be the champion by then. If he's not, then giving him the title was pointless to begin with. But I have mixed feelings about this because while Daniel Bryan plays a great heel, my big problem with swarmy heels nowadays is that they're swarmy right when they win the belt. I thought the whole point of winning the belt was to be established, to be a main eventer, to realize this guy's the man. And then to really establish a new guy, that new guy comes in, gets close to winning, but then that heel that has been established beats him in some crazy fashion, like with a roll-up or something. And then you think to yourself, wow, the other guy could have won, except that he rolled him up. So now you just made 2 stars. Or you made a new star based on how your old one or the current one put him over. And that was my problem with Mrs. title run, but now we're going in a tangent. And it just seems like with Daniel Bryan, they're just making him look like a fluke champion. And you don't need that right now. Especially with the lack of stars that you've got right now. So the next match, a Divas match. It was a 4-way Diva match. Beth Phoenix, Natalya, the Bella Twins versus Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox, and I can't even remember who the fuck Tamina. How I remember every one of those fucking names, I have no fucking clue, because the relevance of the Divas division has really diminished to about this much. And all I can say to this is, why have women's matches on pay-per-views? I know I'm going to insult a couple of females out there, but I think even the ones that I get along with will agree that if you're not going to utilize the Divas division in any sort of relevance whatsoever, and you're just going to throw them together, there's no point in having it. This was a randomly thrown together fucking Divas match that was not fucking needed. It didn't establish any feuds, it didn't establish any divas, it didn't establish shit. Okay? I refuse to keep going on with this diva shit because it's just annoying. What happened after that? I think after that was Kane versus Cena, which it was boring at first, but it actually started to pick up. And then, of course, they had to end it via countout to continue the storyline. See, here's my problem with it. Instead of it being a legitimate storyline, I look at it as just something for Cena to do before his match against The Rock. Because think about it, we just passed the Royal Rumble. The only other pay-per-view that's left before WrestleMania is the Elimination Chamber. This feud's going to continue till Elimination Chamber, where Cena's just going to destroy Kane, who is the most inconsistent fuck that has ever been in the WWE. Because at one point they'll say, oh, he's a monster. And then the next point, he's fucking doing the trombone thing with Santino. 1 minute, he's destroying The Undertaker. The next minute, he's fucking doing the Spinaroonie. He's so inconsistent. And they continued this whole thing by having them brawl backstage. And then he went into Zack Ryder's fucking dressing room, destroyed him. Again, it looks like he was going to destroy Eve. This would have saved the segment, but God forbid there's violence against women, which I'm still shocked. They still had Big Show knock out AJ Lee due to size difference. I mean, fuck sakes. She stands eye to eye against Big Show's dick, for crying out loud. But beyond the point, I mean, this was just weird. I don't hate this feud as much as others, but I don't love it as much as others. Because there's some people that love Kane versus Cena, there's people that hate it. I'm indifferent. Because while it's something for Cena to do, but that's just it. It's just for something for Cena to do. It's nothing. Whatever. Then we had Brodus Clay versus Drew McIntyre. This was not needed. Why did they have them? They could have used these two in the Royal Rumble. Let them do what they had to do. No, they just got to keep burying. I, at one point, did not like Drew McIntyre because he was overpushed. But I didn't ask for him to get buried. I didn't beg for the fucker to get buried. I didn't want the guy fired. I didn't want the guy's career to go down the toilet. I just wanted this guy to improve on his character to give me a reason to care. It pisses me off when WWE overpushes a guy who's not ready. And I know I'm stealing Dave Meltzer's thing here, but it pisses me off when WWE pushes a guy who's not ready, who has nothing going for him. And then when they start to establish something going for them, like an actual persona that makes them stand out, that's when they'll start the burying process and say this guy's worthless. They did it with Sheamus at one point. Sheamus was overpushed. Nobody liked him. Nobody cared about him. And then, once Sheamus started to actually, like, draw the painting and actually put color into his art, they started to bury him a bit. But Sheamus got out of that loophole, whereas Drew McIntyre, forget about it. He fucking jobbed to Brodus Clay. Which, Brodus Clay's only going to be doing this gimmick for a short time until everyone gets sick of it, and then he's just going to go right back to his monster gimmick. That's the only problem I have with this dancing gimmick. It's only going to last for a certain amount of time before people just get sick of it. This was not needed. CM Punk defending his WWE title against Dolph Ziggler with John Laurinaitis as special enforcer. This was alright. I enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. The craziness at the end was kind of weird. It proves that Dolph Ziggler is a great seller. He knows how to fucking make a move just seem that much more devastating. But it was kind of obvious that CM Punk was going to win. There's nothing really to say about this match. It was what it was. I wish it went longer because these two know how to work with each other. But then we got the Royal Rumble itself. When I watched it, I had fun, like usual. I always have fun watching the Rumble. I was at a friend's house. I watched it with 3 other friends. We watched it and had fun, like usual. When the countdown goes to 0 and then another person comes out, we're all like, who's going to be? And then we start marking out or start going crazy on who that is. So who do they put in the Rumble? They put an unemployed jobber in Primo, who doesn't even have his own Titantron. They put in Road Dogg Jesse James. I didn't mind him as a tag team back in the day, but when he came out, it made 0 fucking sense. I just don't care about Road Dogg. Haven't cared about him since 2000. All 3 of the commentators had a spot. The only one that was out of the ordinary that was cool was Karma. I did not expect that, and I thought it was cool. Still don't buy her as a monster, though. Still don't. I still remember her crying in the fucking middle of the ring and then announcing she's pregnant. I can buy her as a dominant female, though. This match proved she was a dominant female, but I'm not convinced she's a monster, so. You had that. I mean, Jerry Lawler barely did anything. Booker T lasted a while, but... And Michael Cole was just in there to be fed to Karma. Now, I will say this. There's a lot of people who are upset that Sheamus won and Jericho didn't. I'll say this. I haven't been watching SmackDown for a while. Well, 2 weeks. That's not really a while. So I can't really say for certain if they were really building up Sheamus to win. But I'm more happy that Sheamus won it than Chris Jericho. Because now while it's still possible that he's going to challenge CM Punk for the belt, I'd rather Undertaker's opponent at WrestleMania be Chris Jericho rather than Triple H. Because I don't want to see Undertaker Triple H for a third fucking time at Mania. And more than likely, this will be the Mania he loses the streak to Triple H. And that's the last person I'd want winning. If anybody. I prefer fucking John Cena to win than Triple H. Because maybe it's not, but the way I'm going to perceive it as, it's going to be perceived as ego. That Triple H won. But, that being said, I think Jericho and Undertaker would be a more exciting thing, and it would actually make sense. Because he said it would be the end of the world as we know it. End of the world could mean the end of the streak. Although it wasn't really displayed much at the Royal Rumble, because it's obvious that the end of the world meant he was going to win the Rumble. Instead, Sheamus won. I don't mind Sheamus winning. Only because I was a little bit irked that the Final Four were Orton, Big Show, Jericho, and Sheamus. I would have wished one of them was Barrett, because he's still got to get some legs to stand on. But the fact that Sheamus won will really solidify him as a star. That'll put him in that pack. Because he isn't that. Even as a two-time WWE champion and King of the Ring and a former United States champion. He really isn't in that group. And now he might be because he won the Royal Rumble. So, Royal Rumble was fun, like usual. Although, like pretty much everybody's been saying, it's just been a Rumble full of jobbers and guys who have had their time. Guys that you knew weren't going to win. Or didn't have a lick of chance of winning. That's been the problem with the Royal Rumble for years. Is that it's full of people you know is not going to win. I don't know. But I thought the Rumble was okay. Though the matches before them were pretty shit. Nothing really to brag about. What can I say? I mean, the last really good Royal Rumble was 2009, in my opinion. That was the last really fucking good one. So, what else? What else can I say? That's pretty much all I can really say at this point. Sheamus is going to WrestleMania. Now it's only a matter of time of who he's going to face. World Heavyweight Champion or the WWE Champion. We'll just have to see.